You're listening to Heart to Horizon, and I'm excited to dive in today's topic with you. Let's dive in. We're diving into a topic that so many of us struggle with: social anxiety and how to improve our conversational skills. Whether you're nervous in social situations or find it tough to connect with others, this episode is all about building the confidence and skills you need to thrive in conversations and, more importantly, feel good while doing it. So, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's jump in. Let's start with the basics: social anxiety. It's that feeling of dread or nervousness that creeps in whenever we think about social situations. You know, those butterflies in your stomach, or even the sweaty palms before speaking up in a meeting. If you're someone who feels overwhelmed in group settings or worries about being judged, you're not alone. Social anxiety affects millions of people, and it can sometimes make even the simplest conversation feel like a major hurdle. But here's the good news: social anxiety doesn't define who you are, and it's something you can absolutely work through. It's all about learning new strategies to build confidence, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, how do we overcome this? Let's start with one of the most powerful tools you have: therapy. One of the first steps in overcoming social anxiety is working on your self-esteem. Often, anxiety stems from a lack of confidence, feeling like you're not enough or that people won't like you. Therapy can really help with this, whether it's through cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or other methods that challenge negative thinking patterns. Therapists are amazing at helping us reframe how we see ourselves and the world around us. In therapy, you can learn to recognize the root of your anxiety and start practicing ways to manage it. It's not about completely getting rid of anxiety, but about learning how to navigate it so that it doesn't control you. And, trust me, small changes in how you think can make a huge difference in how you feel during social interactions. Now, let's talk about small talk. I know, it can feel awkward, especially when you're not feeling your most confident. But here's the thing: small talk is your friend. Think of it like a warm-up before the big game. It's a low-pressure way to ease into a conversation, practice your social skills, and get comfortable interacting with others. Start with the basics: greetings, asking how someone's day is going, or commenting on something in the environment. The goal isn't to have a deep, meaningful conversation right away. It's just to create a friendly interaction, get your social energy flowing, and take the pressure off. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. I get it, it's not always easy. But small talk doesn't have to be perfect. If you're at a party or meeting someone new, maybe you start by complimenting something they're wearing, asking if they've tried a certain food, or even talking about the weather. Start with what feels comfortable for you, and remember, every conversation, no matter how small, is a step forward. Here's a tip that works wonders when it comes to improving your conversational skills: active listening. So often, we're focused on what we're going to say next, but when you truly listen to the other person, something magical happens. Not only do you take the pressure off yourself, but you also create a stronger connection. Active listening means being present and engaged in the conversation. You're not just hearing their words, but also understanding the feelings behind them. Nod, smile, and ask follow-up questions. When someone feels heard, it makes them feel valued and builds trust between you two. Plus, when you're listening closely, you'll find that the conversation naturally flows. Next time you're in a conversation, try to really listen. Instead of worrying about what you're going to say, focus on the person in front of you. Give them your full attention, and they'll appreciate you for it. And of course, remember to respond with empathy. That's what makes any conversation feel meaningful. Here's another game changer: focusing on creating positive feelings during your interactions. Social anxiety often comes from the fear of judgment, but if you focus on spreading positivity, it shifts the energy of the conversation. Ask questions that show you're genuinely interested in the other person. Share something funny or lighthearted to break the ice. The more positive energy you put out, the more likely others are to mirror that back to you. It's a cycle of good vibes. And if you can create positive feelings in every conversation, you'll begin to associate social interactions with warmth and connection instead of fear. Now let's get to one of the most important tips of all: being genuine. It's easy to feel like we need to put on a mask or be someone we're not in social situations, especially when we're anxious. But the truth is, people connect best with those who are authentic and comfortable in their own skin. Being genuine doesn't mean you have to be perfect or have all the right answers. It simply means being true to yourself and letting that shine through in your interactions. When you stop trying to impress people and start being yourself, you'll notice that others will respond in a much more positive way. And that's when the magic happens. Take time to focus on your own self-worth. Remind yourself that you are enough just as you are. And, if you do feel self-conscious, remember that everyone else is human too. They have their own insecurities and worries. The more comfortable you become with yourself, the easier it will be to connect with others on a deeper level. Let's touch on one last thing. The fear of rejection. This is a big one for many people with social anxiety. The thought of being rejected can hold us back from making connections or starting conversations. But here's a secret. Rejection isn't the end of the world. In fact, rejection is something that happens to everyone, at some point or another. It doesn't mean you're unworthy, and it doesn't mean you won't find your tribe of people who appreciate you. Remember, people's reactions are about them, not you. So, if someone isn't interested in talking or isn't receptive, don't take it personally. Keep practicing and know that every conversation is a learning experience. So, to wrap things up, overcoming social anxiety and improving your conversational skills is a journey, not a sprint. It takes time, practice, and patience. But if you focus on building your self-esteem through therapy, warming up with small talk, actively listening, creating positive interactions, and being your genuine self, you'll be well on your way to connecting with others in a meaningful way. Remember, everyone has moments of doubt, but you've got this. You are enough. And with every conversation, you're growing, learning, and building confidence. Keep going, and soon enough, those nerves will turn into excitement for the next chat. Thank you so much for being part of today's episode of Heart to Horizon. If this helped you, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little extra support. I'm looking forward to connecting with you again soon. Until then, take care, stay confident, and keep spreading those positive vibes.